4th down and 6. Olbridge gotta have it. Shotgun formation. Nugent, a lot of time. Rolls out. He's running out of space. Will roll the other way. They look, corner of the end zone. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the Props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's got a wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Motion man is Simmons. Trotman throwing towards Simmons down the field, and he makes the catch in traffic for a Bearcats touchdown.
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
And Racy comes set and delivers. And that's it on the ground to second. Throw to first, in time, and the ball game is over. South Shore survives a late scare, and they are the 2024 New York State Little League Baseball champions. Live from the Sunny Werblin Recreation Center on the campus of Rutgers University, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the 2025 Metropolitan Conference Swimming and Diving Championship. PDF is now in its 3rd year of coverage for this meet. And once again, my name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Durst. Nick, it is great to be back at the Mets for another year of coverage.
Yeah, 3rd year of coverage for PDF. Our 4th time doing this event, which is always a lot of fun. And it always is a reminder for me that spring is coming, because I'm always freezing outside. I get in here, it's nice and hot. And by the time this event is over, most of the time spring is sprung.
Well, the building certainly heating up, but not just the temperature. 10 teams get set to take to the pool tonight to begin this year's championship. And at this time, we'll meet those teams, beginning first with the Baruch College Bearcats, followed by the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. Gordon College, they are the Fighting Scots. All weekend long, we will be calling them the Scots, as is appropriate. Hunter College, they are the Hawks. John Jay College, they are the Bloodhounds. Lehman College, the Lightning. Mount St. Mary College, the Knights. Roberts Wesleyan University, the Redhawks. Sarah Lawrence College, the Griffins. And SUNY Maritime College, the Privateers. And Nick, as you mentioned, we have covered this meet now each of the last 3 years here on PDF. And we'll take a look back to 2022. That is the first time that we covered this meet here on PDF. And 2 teams that are no longer in the meet were the winning teams that year, the University of Mary Washington and TCNJ, the College of New Jersey.
Yeah, that was a crazy, crazy meet for sure. There was so much energy in the building during that, and University of Mary Washington, they really crushed the competition as far as points total is concerned. 1,476 points. The runner-up was the College of New Jersey with 1,290 points. So that's for the women's side of things. Top 3 rounded out there with Rowan, 1,096 points. And on the men's side, you mentioned it, the College of New Jersey, major dominance as they had 1,648.5 points. Don't know how they got the half, don't remember it, but half points they were given out that year. Rowan, 1,457 points, 2nd place overall. And the United States Merchant Marine Academy, 1,235.5 points. That was a really, really fun meet. And that was a great time for a lot of these teams because I think they hadn't had a meet the previous 2 years due to COVID.
Certainly great to see the teams getting an opportunity to compete in a conference championship following the return to competition after the COVID-19 pandemic. But Nick, we were back in 2023, and the standings looked quite similar to what we saw the year before.
Yeah, some of the similar names as I just mentioned. So for comparison here, we had the same exact winner for men's and women's. So on the women's side, the University of Mary Washington, 1,221 points. Behind them in 2nd place was Rowan, 942 team points. And then this is where it got tight, separated by literally just 1 point. The United States Merchant Marine Academy had 922.5 points, where Montclair State University had 920.5 points. On the men's side, the College of New Jersey reigned victorious again, 1,696 team points. United States Merchant Marine Academy, a very strong finish on the men's and women's side, 2 top 3 finishes, 1,476. And then Rowan, the same thing, top 2, top 3 on both meets sides respectively, women's and men's. They were third place in the men's with 1,203.5 points. To put that in perspective, Joe, the next closest team to those top 3, fourth place, was University of Mary Washington, 718.5 points.
And looking back now, 1 year ago in 2024, we saw a lot of teams new to the meet last year, and one of those newcomers won the meet in what would ultimately be their only appearance, Felician University taking the win on the women's side, and they did so by quite a large margin.
Yes, they did, Joe. They dominated, 1,249 points, and then behind them was Hudson University, 814 points. And Maine Maritime Academy, they had 791.5 points in their only appearance here at the Mets. On the men's side, that same school, Maine Maritime Academy, 1,288 points in first place. Baruch College, second place, 1,266 points. They should be considered the favorites today in the men's meet. And the third place was Roberts Wesley University with 1,059 points. They'll be considered the co-favorites in the men's meet, and they will also be considered the favorite on the women's side in this meet here today.
So a lot of history to look back on entering today's meet, and here tonight we were just informed that the national anthem will be played, and then immediately we will begin with our first event. So if we abruptly end our pre-meet coverage, the reason why is the playing of the national anthem. But Nick, before the national anthem is played, let's take a look at tonight's meet program. Getting things started, as I just mentioned, will be the 200 freestyle relay. There will be a 10-minute break following that relay, and immediately after the 200 free relay will be the 500 freestyle, followed by the 200 IM, the 50 free, and then finally the 400 medley relay. But Nick, we just got our meet sheets. Let's take a look at some of perhaps the matchups to watch based on the seed times from earlier today at prelims.
Certainly, Joe. So obviously we're going to start, you mentioned it, 200-yard freestyle. So in the only heat here for that, we are looking at 2 main schools here. So you have Sarah Lawrence College, who had a 1:46.99 seed time. They're a distant third from the seed time. Baruch, they had a 1:41.68 seed time, so they are considered the favorite. And then we have Roberts Wesley University at 1:42.30 seed time. They're the co-favorites, so keep that in mind here a lot between those two schools as far as the co-favorites in a lot of events here. On the men's side, pretty similar as far as who could be considered the favorites. So Baruch College, they had the best seed time, 1:25.02. And then the second best seed time was very close, but it was Roberts Wesleyan, 1:29.15. And the third best seed time was Gordon College swimming team, as they were 1:29.67. So that'll be the first event we have here coming up soon, and then after that we'll have a break and then a lot more action after that.
Well, Nick, I think now is as good a time as any to mention that breaking from what we grew used to last year, once again our meet sheets do have many of the swimmers' first names cut off. Last year they managed to squeeze all of the first names onto our meet sheets. This year, for many of the swimmers, we only have last names. So if we don't address somebody by their full name, that is the reason why.
And we should also note that you and I are sitting in the dark right now. So
it is very dark. It is very dark.
But we'll try our best to guess the first names.
The pool is very well illuminated below us. However, behind the camera, the lights aren't on. So a very interesting dynamic for us up here in the press area on the second level of the Sonny Werblin Recreation Center. But as Nick mentioned, when we looked back at some of the past year's results, Baruch definitely a team to watch tonight. And that is no different in our first two heats of the evening, the men's and the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. Taking a look at many of the other events, the Bearcats and the Redhawks of Roberts Wesleyan University are among the favorites. You will be seeing those swimmers and those relay squads with the top seed times, of course, swimming out of lanes 4 and 5. And Nick, we say it every year, keep in mind that on your screen, lanes 1 through 8 are top to bottom from our vantage point. So lane 1 at the top of the screen, lane 8 at the bottom. We will repeat that many times throughout the evening and throughout the weekend, so those watching at home are well aware. If we repeat it one too many times, don't get too mad at us, but for those tuning in and looking for a specific event, that is for them, and we will let them know, as always, lanes 1 through 8, top to bottom on your screen. As always, Nick, as well, we do have our picture-in-picture feature once again this year. You will see that on your screen with the beginning of our first event. Once the LED board here in the sunny Werblin Recreation Center is populated, that will have lanes 1 through 8 with the name of every swimmer. It will also have all of the split times, so you can track that as well. Nick, of course, you do a great job following those splits throughout each heat, so we will be mentioning that as well as part of the broadcast. But if you ever need to see something that we don't mention particularly, you can take a look up at our picture-in-picture feature. The LED board will be in the upper left. But with just a couple of minutes to go before the playing of the national anthem, Nick and I will step aside and take a break. When we come back, the 2025 Mets Swimming and Diving Championship gets underway from the sunny Werblin Recreation Center on the campus of Rutgers University. And we are back from the sunny Werblin Recreation Center on the campus of Rutgers University. This is Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst for the PDF Sports Network. And Nick, what time is it?
Well, cue the trumpets. It's relay time!
We open our weekend with the 200-yard freestyle relay. The women are up first, followed by the men. And Nick, you have the lane assignments for each of our teams in this heat.
Yes, Joe, I do. In lane 1, it's the Hunter College Hawks. In lane 2, it's the Gordon College Swim Team Scots. In lane 3, it's the Sarah Lawrence College Griffins. In lane 4, it is the Baruch College Bearcats. In lane 5, it is Roberts Wesleyan University's Red Hawks. In lane 6, it is the Mount St. Mary College Knights. In lane 7, it is the John Jay College Bloodhounds. And in lane 8, it is the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. We talked about it in our pre-meet show, but the favorites in this are Baruch and Roberts Wesleyan, separated by just about a second in the seed time here. Baruch 1.41.68, Roberts Wesleyan 1.42.30. So keep an eye on those two. We're expecting a two-team race here, and the all-time record here was set in 2016 by Long Island University of 132.03, so that definitely seems like that is safe.
Very quickly, I'm going to get our in-venue LED board added to the broadcast. There it is in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. We'll tighten that up a bit. But there are your 8 teams in this 200 free relay.
Yeah, the B standard in this, 153.08. The A standard, 147.70.
And we are underway at the 2025 Mets Swimming and Diving Championship. Women's 200 free relay getting us started here this weekend. And it looks like first to the wall, swimming out of lane 6, Mount St. Mary College. But right on their heels, swimming out of lane 4, are the Bearcats of Baruch. Baruch was first back to the starting blocks, and they have a lead of about maybe a body length now developing out of lane 4.
25.06 for Baruch there. Next closest, Roberts Wesleyan, 25.62.
Baruch remains in the lead, swimming out of lane 4. It looks like the closest team to them may be Gordon, swimming out of lane 2. Once again, Baruch first to the blocks, followed by Gordon, Roberts Wesleyan, and Mount St. Mary.
25.84 there split, and the first swimmer was a 50.90 there.
That Baruch lead is only growing here in lane 4. And very quickly, it's developing into a race for second place. The lead for the Bearcats now at about 2 body lengths. Final 50 coming up here as the Bearcats send their final swimmer into the pool, followed by the Red Hawks, now the Scots and the Knights.
Great swim there for Bearcats swimmer, 25.81. We don't know who the swimmers are on the relay, but excellent job there on that leg.
Unfortunately, we only have the teams assigned to each lane, not the swimmers, as the Bearcats' lead is dwindling. It does appear they will hold on. And the first win of the night belongs to Baruch, followed by Roberts Wesleyan, and barely edging out Mount St. Mary in lane 2 was Gordon College. The Knights in lane 6 take 4th, followed by Sarah Lawrence in 5th, John Jay in 6th, Hunter in 7th, and it will be Brooklyn College in 8th, swimming out of lane 8.
What a race there. And Roberts Wesleyan, the last swimmer, 23.69 split to close the door there a little bit and make Baruch really work for it down the stretch.
That gap between Roberts Wesleyan and Baruch got a lot tighter during that final 50.
In the women's 200-yard freestyle relay, lane 2 has been disqualified.
All right, so lane 2, Gordon College, was disqualified. That will move Mount St. Mary up to 3rd, and of course every team behind them will also slide up 1 spot. So officially it is Baruch 1, Roberts 2, Mount St. Mary 3, Sarah Lawrence 4, John Jay 5, Hunter 6, and Brooklyn 7.
So we'll get set here for the men's 200-yard freestyle relay. And in that event, we have a men's standard. This is not for the relay, though, but this is for a men's freestyle, just to get you an idea here. 140 on the men's B standard and 135.25 on the men's A standard.
That is Division 2. We have Division 3 somewhere. Here they are. Here's Division 3 for you, Nick.
That's for D2. So D3, we have similar numbers, but not exactly the same.
Similar.
But the A cut is 136.16. The B cut is 139.40. The invited time in 2024 is 138.62.
Those are the numbers to keep in mind ahead of our men's 200 free relay, and the men are waiting to enter the pool area momentarily. The winning women's team getting a photo in front of the Mets backdrop. And Nick, I think you and I might have to make our way down there at some point and get our pictures taken in front of the backdrop tonight.
Well, the official photographer? Absolutely.
I do believe they have an official photographer.
Looks like it.
Yeah. Need to get a PDF logo incorporated on that banner. I see some room in there.
I think next year you could definitely get it done. But next year, I might have to bring a flashlight next year because I could barely see the papers.
It is dark. It is dark. Admittedly, it is very dark. I'm not sure how much that comes over the camera because the pool is illuminated. But it is time for our A final in the men's 200-yard freestyle relay. Nick, you have the lane assignments once again.
Joe, in lane 1, hailing from SUNY Maritime College, it's the Privateers. In lane 2, hailing from Brooklyn College, it's the Bulldogs. In lane 3, from Gordon College, it's the Great Scots. They're not necessarily great, but I love that name, obviously. And in lane 4, from Baruch College, it's the Bearcats. Lane 5, from Roberts Wesleyan University, it's the Red Hawks. Lane 6, from Lehman College, it's the Lightning. And in lane 7, it is the Mount St. Mary College Knights. The seed times here, Baruch College with the best one, 125.02. Everyone at least 4 seconds behind. The closest behind them, Roberts Wesleyan University, 129.15. And then really close to them there is Gordon College, as it was 129.67 for the seed time.
Well, Nick, as we mentioned during our pre-meet coverage, that Baruch men's team is a team to watch this year. Missed out on the victory last year, but now have an opportunity to slide into that top spot with Maine Maritime Academy no longer in the meet. Baruch only lost last year's meet by 22 points. In a 3-day meet, that is a razor-thin margin. So
very thin. And they're hoping to close it out this year, and they want to start off with a good start here.
They were very close. And our men's 200 free relay is underway, our second event of the night. This will be followed by a 10-minute break ahead of the 500 free. First to the wall during the first 25 are the Bearcats, and as you mentioned, Nick, their seed time about 4 seconds ahead of their closest competition. Behind Baruch, it was very, very close.
Yeah, Baruch there, 21.82. Roberts Wesleyan, 22.49. So close early on.
Baruch's lead growing to about a body length, maybe a bit less during the second 50. Third swimmer in for the Bearcats, and now third swimmer in for Gordon.
A 22-17 leg there for Baruch, giving them a lot of breathing room, but Roberts Wesleyan now sneaking up right behind them.
Baruch swimming out of lane 4, still with a lead. That lead has gotten a bit smaller. Gordon keeping this one close. And we'll see if they can make up the ground here. Final swimmer into the pool now for several teams. Now officially for all 7. Baruch beginning to run away with this one during the final 25. Their lead is a body length. Gordon behind them, closing in. Roberts, Wesleyan, and Gordon edges out Roberts for number 2. Baruch, true to our seed times, takes first place. But Nick, this race got a lot tighter over our prelims. It is Baruch 1, Gordon 2, Roberts Wesleyan 3, Lehman 4, SUNY Maritime 5, Mount St. Mary 6, Brooklyn 7.
Yeah, it was a close one there. Good swimming there by the Scots and the Redhawks to try to keep it close there with the Bearcats.
So it is Baruch picking up the win in our first men's event of the evening. And just like that, Nick, we are headed to a 10-minute break ahead of the 500 free. So unfortunately, during our breaks, we do have to mute our microphones as a result of the copyrighted music that is played in the venue. The speakers here are great. They are very loud. Unfortunately, they are not a friend to our stream. So Nick and I will step off headset at this time once again. This is night 1 coverage of the 2025 Metropolitan Conference Swimming and Diving Championship. Our next event will be the women's 500-yard freestyle. That is coming up following this 10-minute break. And we are back from the Sonny Werblin Recreation Center on the campus of Rutgers University. And this is PDF Sports Network coverage of the 2025 Metropolitan Conference Swimming and Diving Championship. Night 1 of our coverage already got underway about 20 minutes ago with our 200-yard freestyle relay. Coming into the last break, right after Nick and I turned off our headsets, Lane 6, that was Lehman College. Lane 6 in the men's 200-yard free relay was disqualified. So the Lightning were disqualified. They were the 6th place team in that event. So 7th place moves up 1 and takes over 6th. Otherwise, no movement. And Nick, it looks like we do have full names occupying the scoreboard. So why don't you tell our audience who's competing in the C final in the women's 500-yard freestyle?
Swimming the safe run of the women's 500-yard freestyle. In lane 1 from Sarah Lawrence, Julia DeLapp. In lane 2 from John Jay, Julia Murray. In lane 3 from Sarah Lawrence, Jocelyn Engel. In lane 4 from Mount St. Mary, Victoria DeLuca. In lane 5 from Roberts Wesleyan, Catherine McClellan. In lane 6 from Baruch, Cindy Castaneda. In lane 7 from Baruch, Imani Gonzalez. And in lane 8 from Brooklyn, Diana Placencia.
And 5.
All right, so if Nick's audio is coming in a bit low, we apologize for that, but he is back alongside me, and I will go through everything that you just went through, Nick, to make it a bit easier. You already did it, but I will do it once again. We apologize for that. In lane 1, Juliette DeLapp. In lane 2, Julia Murray. In lane 3, Jocelyn Engel. In lane 4, Victoria DeLuca. In lane 5, Catherine McClellan. In lane 6, Cindy Castaneda. In lane 7, Imani Gonzalez. And in lane 8, Diana Placencia. Now, Nick, you were just getting started with the seed times. Let's go back and revisit those.
So for the seed times, 7:01:23 would be Victoria DeLuca, who is in lane 4 from Mount St. Mary College as the top time. Second best time was Catherine McLean in lane 5 from Roberts Wesleyan University, 7:02:42. Those are the top 2. The third favorite in this was a distant third in the prelim. That's Jocelyn Engel in lane 3 from Sarah Lawrence College, 7:09:55. And looking at everything right now, pretty close to form. Catherine McLean had a 41:65 split there. Victoria DeLuca was right behind her with 41:70. But right now, Everyone's pacing themselves slowly here, but Victoria DeLuca early on here at the quarter mark is ahead of the field, pacing the way.
And we say it every year, Nick, but this, of course, is our first non-relay event of the weekend. If we make a mistake with the pronunciation, we do apologize in advance. We do our best with the information we have, but there are a lot of athletes competing this weekend. If we make a mistake, be sure to let us know in the live chat. We will make sure that we get it right the rest of the way. So feel free to let us know if we make any errors on pronunciation. We want to make sure that we give all of this weekend's competitors their due properly. So the live chat is available for that all weekend long, and we thank everyone who has chosen to spend their Friday night with us here on the PDF Sports Network for this year's Met Swimming and Diving Championship. And taking a look back quickly at those seed times, as you mentioned, Nick, the top two swimmers very close. However, in an event like this, a 500, the seed times don't carry quite as much weight as they would in a shorter event like a 50 to a 200, where typically if a team is trailing another seed by about 8 seconds, you can safely bet that they're not going to make up that kind of time. That does not apply in an event like this one.
Yeah, especially not when you're looking at heat 1 of 3. So obviously, if you're new to the swimming world, the seeding and the lane assignments is based on how you finished in the prelim time. So even here, the top two seeds, they were the 17th and 18th fastest swimmers in the prelims. So really can't factor in the prelim time as much between lanes 4, 5, and 3 as you typically can in the shorter races and also in the A heat finals.
So we are probably just past the midway point here. It's very tough to make out on the live stream, but the placards with the laps down at the end of the pool for all of the swimmers right now are reading 13. Some of those are being turned over with that last turn at the wall.
Yeah, let me give you the 500 free style cut times here for the D3 level. And the A cut, 4:45.33. The B cut, 5 minutes and 0.37 seconds there. And the invite time was 4:58.57. So you can see this particular prelim a little behind on that time, but some really good racers in here. And right now at the little bit past the halfway mark here, we're anticipating this race to end around 7 minutes, so another minute and 45 seconds here. And it's been true to form as far as the seating is concerned here, with Victoria DeLuca leading the way and Jocelyn Engel right there behind her and Catherine McLean behind her.
It won't apply to the 500 free. However, in the past, when there haven't been enough teams to put together an entire final, so typically I would think that would only apply if only one team submitted an entry for an event. But regardless, I believe it was 2 years ago, we had an additional heat tacked on to the end of, I believe, night 2 of our meet. Perhaps it was night 1, but it was certainly one of the first 2 nights. And the University of Mary Washington was attempting to meet one of those NCAA cut times. So perhaps we see that again this weekend. If we receive word that will be the case, of course, we will let everyone watching at home know. But as of right now, we are not aware of any additional heats that will be taking place with the sole purpose of trying to achieve an NCAA cut time.
Joe, we got a tight one now.
Sure do. Lanes 3 and 4. That is Engel and DeLuca stroke for stroke at the wall, and it looks like Engel with a strong turn has taken the lead.
Keep in mind, Engel was 8 seconds slower than DeLuca in the prelims.
Like I said, Nick, 8 seconds, not all that much time. And it is indeed Jocelyn Engel who takes first. In the 500-yard freestyle, Victoria DeLuca will take second. Catherine McClellan third. And taking a look at those times up there on the board, Nick, a couple of them creeping below 7 minutes, far surpassing the seed times.
Yeah, everyone raced their best race here, their last 500 yard freestyle of the season, maybe even of their careers. And it was a job well done by the ladies in the pool.
So very interesting to see that in the case of the relays, where there was only an A final, one heat here on night one, the teams did not perform nearly as well in this finals heat as they did during the prelims. So perhaps during the prelims, trying to make that final cut for the one final heat that we have at night,
Joe,
they're swimming a bit harder.
I think every school makes the relay based on the number of schools we have here.
Do we have let me see. If those are all of the submitted, or I should say all of the preliminary times, then yes, that would be the case. I don't know if there are actually more preliminary heats than that.
Well, we do know in the men's heat there was only 7 teams in that final, so that would lead me to believe only 7 teams in the prelim.
Makes sense.
Well, here we go now, getting ready to introduce the Heat 2 competitors here. So we will run through it.
Definitely some names cut off, Nick.
As we get ready. In lane 1 from Hunter College, it is Gwendolyn Posner. In lane 2 from Mount St. Mary College, it is Rynan Mulkierans. In lane 3 from Hunter College, it is Parvi Makhmadeliov. In lane 4 from Mount St. Mary College, it is Steph Summer. She's back from last year. In lane 5 from Gordon College, it is Arwen Hefner. In lane 6 from Sarah Lawrence College, it is Ava Greengrass. In lane 7 from Baruch College, it is Kristen Zhao. And in lane 8 from Gordon College, it is Kayla Gormley. Joe, how'd I do?
I think you did pretty good. There's only, I think, one that I would have done differently. So I think you did pretty well. I would venture to guess that names are cut off in lanes 2 and 3. Perhaps not, but always so tough to tell. We just don't know.
We don't know, but I will give you some prelim times here. As we had Steph Summer in lane 4, 6:14.97 in the prelim time. And we had Arwen Hefner in lane 5 from Gordon College, 6:15.74. And in lane 3, we had Parvi Makhmadeliova with a 6:16.47 time.
Well, Nick, the power of the internet certainly going to help us out here. Unfortunately, we didn't have the opportunity to look this up because we didn't have meet sheets, obviously, before the evening began. But in lane 2, Rhiannon Mulkerins, her full name does appear on the board. I am checking lane 4 right now. And as I suspected, Parvina Banu, her full name does not appear on the board. So we do have that available to us online, and we can look that up via the Hunter College website. So once we know who is in each sheet, we are able to, of course, check and make sure that their full names are addressed on the broadcast.
Good start here from Arwen Hefner, as she had a little slight lead, but now Steph Summer on that last turn overtaking the lead for now, but they are still close.
Taking a look down toward the pool, it appears that the placards at the end wall all read lap number 9 for the swimmers in the pool right now. So very similarly, we're looking once again at around times, I'd say between the 6.5 and 7 minute mark for the bottom of the field, and then pushing closer towards 6 minutes for those near the top of the field. Once again, top 2 seeds, Nick, very, very close in this particular heat. As you mentioned, Steph Summer and Arwen Hefner about 0.8 of a second apart, less than that. So that's definitely something to watch, those two swimming out of lanes 4 and 5.
Yeah, true to form so far. But right now it looks like Steph Summer is opening up a bit of a lead here, and it looks like it's going to be by multiple seconds here, by about 3 seconds.
That last touch did come just shy of 3 seconds.
Arwen Hefner, I think, has actually dropped to third now.
Yeah, taking a look at the splits up on the board. Summer did reach that last touch first, followed by Makhmadaliva. And then Hefner, as you said, Nick, she drops to third by the slimmest of margins. And right now it remains 1, 2, 3 in lanes 4, 3, and 5. And that is where we will stand following the latest touch, which comes at 4:15:51. However, Nick, you take a look at those splits, and they tell a different story.
Yeah, the splits right now, Steph Summer 38.60, and then 37.50 up in lane 3, 37 or 38 about was in lane 5. So,
Makhmadaliva closed some ground there, Nick.
Yeah, she's closing some ground. And it's about a body's length lead right now for Steph Summer, as she's in there 38.23, which was not the fastest split time there. And
yeah, once again, she was edged out by about 0.7 of a second.
Yeah, and I think her lead on this turn might be gone.
Certainly appears as if that might be the case. Those placards read 17 as both swimmers reach the wall together. And right now, Nick, they are stroke for stroke heading toward the touch pads.
Yeah, stroke for stroke right now. This Hunter College, Mount St. Mary College battle. And it's just going to be between the two of them to see who wins here. A distant third right now is Arwen Hefner.
Makhmadaliva and Summer right now 1 and 2 respectively. And Makhmadaliva is building upon a lead here. She heads toward the wall. That lead now growing to about a body's length.
Yeah, she's showing her best right now. 35.86 split there. Steph Summer was 37.29, so she seems to be running out of some steam here.
The difference between that duo during the preliminary heat was only about 1.5 seconds, and it looks like both are going to significantly improve over their seed times, and they certainly will. 6:06.03 for Makhmadaliva. Summer comes in at 6:07.64. Hefner at 6:11.59. And the race for fourth is going to belong to the swimmer in lane 6. That is Ava Greengrass. In lane 2, Rhiannon Mulcairns will take 5th. In lane 1, Gwendolyn Posner will take 6th. It looks like Kristen Zhao is going to take 8th. And Kalia Gormley will take 7th.
Well, what I noticed is everyone's pretty much shedding off some bit of a time towards the winners anyway. About 8 seconds early on here in these first two prelims off the prelim time versus the final time.
Let's meet the A finalists.
And here come the A finalists. Those names will appear up on the LED board in the arena. Once they do, Nick, let us know our A finalists.
Yeah, we're going to wait for those names to come up so that I get the first names.
I do love how for each and every A final, they come out to a soundtrack, and I think our personal favorite has to be Who Let the Dogs Out. What do you think, Nick?
That was a good one for sure. I think a few years ago, Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson was phenomenal.
A good one. I think Living on a Prayer had a sing-along as well.
I could have.
We may have to sing along next time. That way we cover the music and don't get a copyright strike.
We might get copyrighted strike for singing the words.
True. For that reason, we can't share the national anthem. We're still waiting for the scoreboard to be updated with our A finalists, and the event cannot begin until that happens, so they'll get to work on that.
Swimming in the A final, the women's
There we go.
500-yard freestyle.
All right, Joe. In lane 1 from Gordon College, Grace Paxanasto. In lane 2 from Baruch College, it's Caitlin Chavez. In lane 3 from Roberts Wesleyan University, it's Cara Pelletieri. In lane 4 from Gordon College, it is Catherine Maloney. In lane 5 from Mount St. Mary College, Megan Worcester. In lane 6 from Roberts Wesleyan University, Haley Welsh. In lane 7 from Gordon College, it is Emma Broll. And in lane 8 from Roberts Wesleyan University, it is Juliana French. So in this final here, Joe, you have three swimmers from Roberts Wesleyan, and we have 2 swimmers from Gordon College.
Red Hawks and the Scots, well represented here in this A final, and another very nice touch that they have for the student athletes here at the Mets. They are each individually introduced along with all of their accolades ahead of each A final. So the coaches submit a bio sheet for each of the top 8 swimmers. Those are, of course, the A finalists, and those bios are then shared with the spectators here at the Sonny Werblin Rec Center. It also helps us out as we were able to get the pronunciations of the names a bit. So assuming they have those correct over public address, we were able to pick those up as well. Right now, introductions at the point of lane 6. So, Nick, let's take a look at some of the seat times.
Lane 4, Catherine Mahoney. She, from Gordon College, best seat time, 5:30.96. Behind her in lane 5, from Mount St. Mary College, Megan Worcester, 5:31.69, and from Roberts Wesleyan University in lane 3, Cara Pelletieri. She was at 5:35.03. So those are the top 3 favorites in this one to keep an eye on.
So once again, Maloney, Worcester, Pelletieri, 3 names to watch in this one, swimming out of lanes 4, 5, and 3 respectively. And Nick, I did hear over public address, Cara is how Cara Pelletieri's first name is announced. I picked it up over PA, assuming they have it right. That's what we'll go with the rest of the weekend. But we are underway in the A final of the women's 500-yard freestyle. This, the third and final heat in this event. The men coming up next. No more extended breaks this evening. I do not believe until the very end, ahead of the 400 medley relay to conclude the night, we may have one additional break, but I will double check on that and be sure to let you know.
Yeah, we're going to have like at least an hour and a half straight here of action. So stay tuned here. This is where you want to be.
There's not only a break, Nick, it is a 20-minute break of that final relay, which makes sense. Get as many competitors into that event as fresh as possible. So
yeah. Well, after this event, obviously we have the men's 500 freestyle, but then we get to some of our favorite events of the whole weekend. The shorter races, 200-yard individual medley, and our favorite, the 50-yard freestyle.
Our meet itinerary has us going until about 7:40 tonight. That is a rough estimate, but that is their target end time for this evening. We got underway at 5:30 here on the PDF Sports Network. Once again, this is Joe Foreman alongside Nick Durst. I will be with you all weekend, continuing through prelims tomorrow morning. No voice during the prelims, but I will be here making sure that both of our simultaneous streams are operating correctly. We do hope to have audio from diving tomorrow. That will take place in the secondary pool. However, that is contingent on the capabilities of wireless audio equipment, batteries, and the connection available to us here in the Sonny Werblin Rec Center. We did get that operating seamlessly last year, and we hope that has not changed entering our diving prelims tomorrow in the morning and then our diving finals tomorrow night.
Yeah, about the halfway mark here as Catherine Maloney's about to touch this wall and head back, but she is about a body's length ahead right now, Megan Worcester.
Just some information for those who tuned in to the prelims this morning at about 10:45 a.m. Prelims tomorrow and prelims on Sunday both get underway at 10 a.m. Finals on each of the next 2 nights will get underway at our same start time as this evening, 5:30 p.m. Maintaining her lead, heading to the wall is Maloney. Not much has changed since the previous 50. Her lead at about a body's length right now. Close behind, Megan Worster. Worster, the lone swimmer for Mount St. Mary College in this A final.
33-38 split time there, which was better than Maloney, who's still ahead of her.
Gap is closing just a bit. Worster closing in, as you mentioned. Split times, very close. And easily the two best splits during that previous 50. However, Cara Pilateri closing in now and trying to make this a three-woman race.
Yeah, and she's done a great job of that, as her split time right there was 32-37, which was the best.
Right now, it is a three-swimmer race headed for the wall. Those placards at the end of the pool read 15. Still some time here. Shortly, we will head into final 200.
It's getting close right here.
I should say the final 100. My math is very poor, clearly. Take a look at those splits, Nick. Pilateri over 2 seconds ahead of Maloney.
Yeah.
Worster right in the middle.
That's why she's in first place right now.
She's really turned
Maloney
it on.
falling behind a little bit. Worster ahead of her for second place right now.
Coming out of that last turn, Pilateri very strong. Her lead has grown to just shy of a body length, headed for the touch pads. And Nick, she appears to be running away with this one.
32-23 split there. She's just building and getting stronger and stronger here.
This race appears to belong to her. And right now it's a clear-cut 1-2-3. Pilateri, Worster, and Maloney in those positions respectively.
It's going to stay true to form there, Joe.
And Pilateri is going to come in at 5:25.65. That is about 10 seconds ahead of her seed time. Worster second, Maloney third.
That's some good points right there for Roberts Wesleyan overall for the team points.
Mount St. Mary's Megan Worster improving over her seed time by about 4 seconds. Catherine Maloney fell about 1 second behind her seed time.
Yeah, and the winner, Pilateri, she improved by 10 seconds.
Welch fourth, Chavez fifth, Brule sixth, Axanasto seventh, and it will be Juliana French in eighth. We do have a decent view of lane 8 this year. We've elevated our camera a bit more, which certainly helps.
New tripods.
Do have new tripods as well. Nice and sturdy. Our A finalist winner, Cara Pilateri, in the women's 500-yard freestyle. The men's C final coming up next.
Yeah, so while we wait for the names to come in, I'll let you know that the D3 cut here for the men, the invite time was 4:29.54, B cut 4:31.24, the A cut 4:20.26, and in lane 3 through 6 is where we're going to have competitors. Nobody in 1, 2, 7, or 8. Lane 3 from Baruch College, Duncan Huey. In lane 4 from Gordon College, Johnny Mims. In lane 5 from SUNY Maritime, Ryan Colombo. And in lane 6 from Brooklyn College, Simeon Shkaruta.
So just 4 competitors in this C final. Of course, there will be 8 in both the B final and the A final.
Yeah, so we're going to keep our eyes on Mins in lane 4 from Gordon College, and Ryan Colombo here in lane 5 from SUNY Maritime College, as they had the top 2 seed times for this particular heat. 5:53.08 for Mins and 5:56.59 for Colombo.
We haven't yet had one of those razor-thin margins of victory yet that have seen any of these heats to this point come down to the wire, and obviously those always make for a special call, especially when you get one of those in the A final. But the seed times in the relays pretty much held true. Here in the longer event, the 500 free, not as much. We've seen a lot of movement both in the lower final heats, the C and the B, and then of course in the A final there was some movement there as well, and that's always something to keep an eye on throughout the weekend, how much movement there is versus what we saw in the preliminary round. Multiple swimming and diving championships taking place this weekend, and credit to the Mets. Each and every year they make a point of making the stream free. You cannot watch every championship this weekend.
You don't want to be stuck behind a paywall. That's not fair to the families. So we love bringing it to you here on the best network, the PDF Sports Network YouTube channel.
I don't want to venture off topic, but I will say that the trend right now in collegiate athletics is moving behind a paywall.
Yeah, everybody's going with the flow right now and going behind some paywalls.
They are definitely going along with the trend. And a lot of collegiate swimming and diving championship meets and even regular season games now are only viewable behind a paywall, and that is a trend that seems to be continuing. And I have some insight into those conversations as an athletic communications coordinator at a D2 college. Those who know me obviously know which college that is, but I have some firsthand experience with that, and perhaps that could be coming to us locally in the near future. Meanwhile, here at the Mets, C final in the men's 500-yard freestyle. Taking a look at those placards near the end of the pool, some 13s, some 11s. Right now in lane 4, Johnny Mins with a sizable lead.
Yeah, and we're about a little past the halfway mark here. So Mins was the favorite, or was he was the favorite. So right now that's staying true to form here.
This night one of 3 nights for us here at the Mets, and as I mentioned, my broadcast partner tonight is Nick Durst. I will be joined by someone very close to you, your co-host of the You Know I'm Right podcast, and our colleague here at the PDF Sports Network, Joe Calabrese, will join me on the call each of the next 2 nights. He could not be more eager for his first experience.
Well, we know he'll have a lot of notes as Buffalo Joe and Joey Pretzels bring you all the action tomorrow night. It's a shame there's no hot pretzels here.
You know, they did have them. What was it, last year or the year before?
Maybe last year.
Well, the teams were very kind, willing to share some of their snacks with us, and got the opportunity to enjoy some pretzels. I don't remember if that was last year or the year before, but it definitely made my weekend better.
One of the teams ordered like 30 boxes of Domino's pizza. I know one of the years you were here all day, you ordered Domino's pizza as well.
Our engineer brought us some Domino's. That is correct. That was 2 years ago. Though Domino's is not a sponsor. No more free advertising for Domino's. That Joey Pretzel thing was a one night only. We're closing in on final 50 in this 500 free C final. The lead still belongs to Johnny Mins in lane 4. That lead by, I'd say, about 25 yards.
Yeah,
he and
Colombo almost half
crossed.
The pool.
Yeah, he and Colombo crossed right in the middle of the pool. So he's about 25 ahead of him. Final 50 here. Mins with a comfortable lead. Gordon College has been well represented so far tonight.
Yeah. Now, Joe, what I'll say about your broadcast partner tomorrow is he's told me he's been hitting the pool. So
really,
he's going to be ready to go at his place of employment. It was a big perk for him being able to access the pool. So I guess he's going to know what he's talking about. Of course he will.
Am I going to lose him to him wanting to take a dip tomorrow? Is he going to
might.
Is he going to rip the polo off, reveal the Speedo under the
He's going to bring the
khakis?
PDF swimsuit,
Oh, yeah?
and you'll just see him before you get here in the cool down pool.
I'll tell you, I get into swimming shape next year. We get a PDF swimsuit. You know what? I'm going to go in a standard bathing suit. I'll get the PDF swim cap. The swim cap. That's right. That's better.
So congrats to Johnny Mins here as he won this heat, and
Sizable lead for
Ryan
him.
Colombo is second.
Mins, Colombo, Huey, Shkaruda, 1 through 4 in the C final of the men's 500-yard freestyle. B final coming up next.
B final will have full 8 lanes of competitors.
Names to populate the board momentarily. Once the C finalists exit the pool, that will happen. But as you said, Nick, full pool. Once again, for those just tuning in, lanes 1 through 8 go from the top of the screen to the bottom of your screen. We get that question quite a bit in the live chat, and that is the orientation. Lane 1 at the top, lane 8 at the bottom, as our B final is just about set to get underway.
All right, Joe. In lane 1 from Sarah Lawrence College, it's Patrick Rao. In lane 2 from Mount St. Mary College, it's Teddy Mills. In lane 3, it is Luca Shapiro from Baruch College. In lane 4 from SUNY Maritime College, it is Matt Klemek. In lane 5 from Roberts Wesley University, the senior, who's no stranger to this tournament, Ronald Paseka. In lane 6 for Roberts Wesley University as well, Braden Mitchell. In lane 7, it is Kyle Giuliano from Mount St. Mary College, and also, again, for Roberts Wesley University, the third competitor from that school in this heat, it is Jaden Parshall. Now, looking at the seed times here, Klemek in lane 4, 5:21.91. Paseka, 5:22.55. Shapiro, lane 3, 5:26.86, and right there with him was Mitchell, 5:27.17.
So the matchup to watch, as has been the case for much of the night, will be in those middle 2 lanes, 4 and 5, and don't count out lane 2, lane 3, lane 6, maybe even lane 7 and lane 1. All of those times are within 10 seconds of one another, maybe a bit more, closer to 11.
Yeah.
But we saw it earlier, 8 seconds in an event like this, a 500-yard event. Not that much time. You can make that up if you really kick it into gear, especially during that final 100.
That's for sure. And I ask you this, I think every year, Joe, but would you rather win a B heat, the second heat, or come in 8th place in the A heat, the final heat?
Oh, man. I think that is tough, because if you have the choice going into an A final, obviously you have to be in it to win it. You'd rather be in the A final. If you know you're coming in 8th already, I think there's a chance you may prefer first place in the B, but that's knowing that you're coming in 8th. Knowing I'm coming in 8th, I might want to win.
Yeah, I'd probably want to go with the B heat and win. But obviously, team points-wise, you want to be in that the A heat to get the points for a team.
Absolutely.
But personally, I think I want to feel the victory.
I think a lot of it, too, isn't so much for these swimmers, what place you come in which heat. It's more about what time you register. A lot of schools and a lot of swimmers and divers are looking to push for a certain number and push for a certain time, whether it's a diving score or a swimming time in these events this weekend. And from my experience covering Division III and Division II swimming and diving as athletic communications coordinator, I don't as often attend the meets as I do recap the meets. And what I see time and time again each season is that coaches prepare their student athletes with the aim of peaking during these championship meets. We see a lot of program records, a lot of personal bests, and I think for a lot of these swimmers, more important than what place they come in which heat is the time they put up there on the scoreboard.
Yeah, they want to set their own personal bests and their school records. That's very important. Got about, I want to say, a minute and 10, maybe 15 seconds left here before we start seeing some potential finishes.
Those placards at the end of the pool read 13. We are well beyond the midway point. Right now, very tight in lanes 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, Shapiro there, 32-76 split was the best of the bunch.
And those turns were just about simultaneous. And if it stays that way, it looks like the best turn will gain the advantage off of that end wall. And with that best turn, at least in that particular turnaround, was Matt Klemek swimming out of lane 4.
Klemek 32-66 split there was the best. Pasika 32-93, second best in lane 5. And in lane 6, Braden Mitchell 33-01.
Well, off of each of the last now 3 turns, Klemek has gained ground. Shapiro and Pasika very close.
Looks like Klemek has this one, but Pasika trying to make some late push happen here. Shapiro falling behind a bit between the 3 of them.
It's a clear cut 1, 2, 3 out of lanes 4, 5, and 3 right now. I'm not sure that even with a strong final 25, Pasika could close the gap. Klemek heading for the touch pad. His lead was dwindling, but not by nearly enough to threaten it. And Matt Klemek takes first in the B final, followed by Ronald Pasika and Luca Shapiro. It's going to be a close finish for 4th, and it belongs to Teddy Mills in lane 2. Kyle Giuliano takes 5th, Braden Mitchell 6th, Patrick Rao 7th, and Jaden Parshall will take 8th. A final coming up next, and those competitors right now are obscured from the crowd back behind the glass. They are about to be ushered out into the pool area, but you have to love the introductions, the music selections, and the one-by-one introduction of each swimmer. I mention it every year, but it really is great for these student athletes to get that experience.
That's what you live for. Now, Joe, you've worked more swim meets than I've attended. On the usual meets for these schools, is there any music? Is there any individual introductions, or it's just like, all right, next up
regular
to
season meet?
Nothing, right?
I think this is the standard for a conference championship. Now, you and I have to be thinking the same thing, right?
Right now, what's with the song choice?
Yes. Song choice is Barbie Girl.
Well, I'm sure one of the swimmers in this final thought he was a wise guy and said, let's come out to this, thinking he's a total pro or something.
Does the top seed get to choose?
I don't know.
That would be something.
If so, we could, thank Mr. Kravitz here from Brooklyn College.
We await the competitor names to light up the LED scoreboard ahead of this A final in the men's 500-yard freestyle. Following this event, we jump right into the 200-yard individual medley. No break again until about 5 after 7.
Swimming in the A final of the men's 500-yard freestyle.
All right, here we go, Joe. In lane 1 from Baruch College, Leo Valdivia. In lane 2, his teammate from Baruch College, it is Greg Tarantiev. In lane 3, from Roberts Wesleyan University, Tanner Pinto-Cone. In lane 4, from Brooklyn College, Michael Kravitz. In lane 5, from Roberts Wesleyan University, Derek Woodford. In lane 6, from Lehman College, Jefferson Terrera. In lane 7 from Baruch College, Michael Guzman. And in lane 8 from Gordon College, it is John Sullivan. And now looking at the prelims time, Kravitz, lane 4, best Prelim time, 4:58.63 for the junior. Pinto Cone. He is in lane 3. For Roberts Wesleyan 5:01.45, so he's the third favorite here. And in lane 5, it was Woodford, Roberts Wesleyan University, as well as teammate, 4:59.77.
Swimmer introductions continue in the pool area. Right now they are continuing with lane 6. So we'll take another look at those seed times. And Nick, this may be the closest assembly of the top 4 swimmers that we've seen all night. All of them within about 4 seconds of one another. So I think for the first time this evening, we have a 4-way race at the top of the seed times, and that could make for a very interesting finish. We have yet to have one of those close photo finishes where we need to use our replay feature. We haven't.
Well, that'll be nice if we get to use it. I'm expecting the winner in this to come in sub 4:58.
Always interesting to see the difference between preliminary seed time and time in the finals.
I'll say our winner is going to be at or below 4:55. That's what I'll say.
All right, we'll see if our swimmers can make good on that. We're underway in the A final, men's 500-yard freestyle. After this, rapid fire heats, 200 IM, 50 free, followed by a 20-minute break ahead of the 400-yard medley relay.
Yeah, there'll be no downtime in those events. It'll be fast and furious, especially in the 50-yard free.
I'd love to ask a swimmer this question, but in an event like this, do you subscribe to the notion it's not how you start, it's how you finish?
I think it has to be. You have to build up, and then you want to hit your peak at the end.
I might say, and this is with no experience as a collegiate swimmer, it's not how you start, it's how you pace yourself.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
We see it time and time again. The winners of these races, the longer races, generally don't have the greatest start. And we always see the ones that have the greatest start teeter towards the end. And that is very true in this, and especially true when we get to Sunday for the 1650 free, which is going to be, around a 15-minute race. Last year I had to call that race by myself as we were having some audio issues, and my colleague Dave Pizzuto is getting that fixed. But this year, Joe, you don't have to worry about talking too much because you got Joe Calabrese with you, and he can talk for 16 minutes straight.
I was about to say, Joe's going to have his vocal cords warmed up and ready. Well, any audio issues in the past have been eradicated. I can be certain that will not happen again. I did, if I recall, I missed last year's final day at the Stadium Series.
You're at MetLife Stadium, yes, for one of the greatest Rangers games in regular season history.
I think that was an all-time game in Rangers history. The venue, the comeback, the atmosphere, I think that was an all-time game. It was a lot colder out there than it is in here.
Oh, yes. And you'll be back there in August. Not for Jets preseason football.
No.
For SummerSlam.
That's right. Meanwhile, and we said it was a strong start for Tanner Pinto Cone out of lane 3, and his lead was a good one. And Buffalo Joe chiming in from the production room saying he can talk for more than 16 minutes straight, and I don't think anyone on the crew is arguing that.
Well, here's the thing: it's 360. It'll be at least 2 free heats, so it could be a total of 6 16-minute races. So could Joe talk for an hour and a half straight? Probably.
Maybe
96 minutes straight.
I might need to rein him in depending on what he talks about.
The zodiac signs determine that the full moon is going to pick the winner, and this.
Yeah, he's going to be reading the numerology signals.
The split time there was 30-17 from Kravitz. So you know what that means, Joe.
It means Saturn's in retrograde. Is that a term?
You are not going to want to miss the 1653 on Sunday.
Definitely not. placards at the end of the pool reading 13. We are well beyond the midway point once again. Pinto Cone right now with a split time second to only Michael Kravitz in lane 4. So those two posting similar split times, but it is Pinto Cone with a lead of about 2 body lengths.
He's swimming very well right now.
He's headed for the touch pad here. His lead now at about a body length and shrinking a bit. He's got about 100 yards to go here, and his lead is now down to a body length. I think that's safe to say. Still shrinking a bit. Kravitz making a push.
See the touch times here.
Nick, I think we're about to get that close finish. Look at how close it's getting in lanes 3
Pinto
and
Cone
4.
right now, 29.51 still at the lead, but Kravitz 28.48 split there. And
does Kravitz have enough to overtake Pinto Cone? It looks that way, headed for the wall. He is there first. And off the turn, he has the lead. Kravitz pulling away. And a huge final 50 from Michael Kravitz will carry him to the win in the men's 500-yard freestyle A final. Pinto Cone takes second, Guzman third, Woodford fourth, Tarantayev fifth, Tahara sixth, Valdivia seventh, and Sullivan eighth.
an exciting last 50 there in that race.
Can't ask for much more than that out of the final 50. And Brooklyn College's Michael Kravitz earns the Bulldogs first place points. Roberts Wesleyan earning second place points and fourth place points. Baruch earning third place points from Michael Guzman.
Now we get set to turn the page, the women's 200-yard individual medley, and this record was set when we were here in 2022 as Kinsey Brooks set the record 2:01.49. And we will take a look at the swimmers in this one as they populate on the screen. From Baruch College in lane 1, Darya Voinetskaya. In lane 2 from the John Jay College, it is Luciana Uriade. In lane 3 from Brooklyn College, Yara Shaikh. In lane 4 from Brooklyn College, Haley Johnston. In lane 5 from Roberts Wesleyan University, Leanne Dolph. In lane 6 from Baruch College, Melissa Yu. In lane 7, Gloria Glenn from John Jay College. Lane 8, Rina Yamamoto from John Jay College. In this particular heat, we are keeping an eye on Dolph, 2:45.62 in the prelim time. Now I'm looking at our meet sheet here. They have a different swimmer in lane 4.
They do.
So we're not sure if it is
Late
Schaefer
scratch.
K or if it is Haley Johnston.
It's probably a late scratch, Nick.
All right, so haven't seen that where the late scratch would then be replaced in lane 4, but
Good point. The rest of the swimmers would probably slide over, so that's a good point, Nick. But we can only go by what the scoreboard says, I would assume,
it's got to be, yeah.
because that's how the meet is being scored.
That's correct. Well, we'll see, based on what we're looking at here, I would say that you are right. You are, I don't know, because Haley Johnston right now is behind. So you are right. They probably
is a late
added her
scratch.
late.
Yep,
So
late scratch.
Schaefer K out of this one. She had the best prelim time. So that leaves Sheikh in lane 3 and Dolph in lane 5 with the 2 best prelim times.
So it is possible that with a late scratch in a different heat, Schaefer K could have been moved up into the B final if the cut was from either the B or the A final.
So
So keep that in mind.
in mind there. And it does say here, Joe, that Haley Johnston was the alternative.
Okay, makes sense.
So she was 3:28.16 in her prelim time.
We've entered the final 50. Right now, not really too close. Gap tightening a bit between Shake and Yu swimming out of lanes 3 and 6, but right now Yu still has a comfortable lead heading toward the touch pad. And third, Leanne Dolph.
Yu 36.63 split. Shake 35.46.
Yu,
Dolph
Shake, Dolph.
35.39. Yep.
1, 2, 3. Gloria Glenn will take 4th. Luciana Uriarty will take 5th. Daria Voinskaya will take 6th. Hopefully I got that right. Rina Yamamoto will take 7th, and it will be Haley Johnston, the alternate addition to this heat, that takes 8th.
Taking a look at some cut times in this event. We are looking at the women's cut time. The 2024 invite time was 2:05.44. B cut 2:05.70. A cut 1:58.27. So we'll get set for our final women's heat in this event coming up next. And we'll see if Schaefer K got moved up or if she was the true scratch. So I'll go completely off the board here rather than reading our paper once they put the names on the board.
That will happen momentarily. Just keep in mind our Division II NCAA cut times only apply to Roberts Wesleyan University this year. The rest of the programs competing in this weekend's meet are all Division III. The A finalists making their way to the starting block right now. Introduction set to begin momentarily. Much like the women, the men will only have one heat, or I should say 2 heats, in their 200-yard IM. A B final will feature only 3 swimmers, and then the A final will feature 8.
All right, so here we go. Schaefer K did get bumped up, so she's down there in lane 8. Mackenzie Schaefer K, Sarah Lawrence College. Now back in numerological order, we have Paige Kern from Roberts West University in lane 1. Kirsten Eads from Sarah Lawrence College in lane 2. Grace McHugh from Mount St. Mary College in lane 3. Elise Alexander from Baruch College in lane 4. Lane 5, first name cut off. I'm going to guess it's Joan. What do you think, Joe? Joan for the first name?
I would say we can check the website. Let's get the last name correct. So I would say
Arzaluz Garzon from Roberts West University. Lane 6, Lydia Shostak from Gordon College. Lane 7, Joyce Wong from Baruch College. As I mentioned,
Joanne, Nick.
Joanne,
or
so
Joan
Joanne.
with an E, depending on how you pronounce it. I would say Joan, Joane.
So Joane. I'm going to guess it's Joan.
Joan.
Yeah.
You're right. You know he's right.
Lucky guess. You know I'm right. So that's your 8 right there. So there was a scratch from this, and that is MK Farkas from Gordon College. She's not in this race. Alexander, lane 4, 2:17.83. Prelim time. So she is the favorite there. And they just said Joni on the PA, so we'll say Joni as she is in lane 5, and her prelim time was 2:19.04. McHugh, lane 3, 2:20.36 prelim time.
from Baruch, Joyce Law.
Introductions wrapping up in just a moment as they introduce Mackenzie Schaefer-Kay out of lane 8. Very even representation in this heat. No program with more than 2 teams. However, 3 separate programs have at least 2 swimmers. And all 8 enter the pool here. Women's 200-yard IMA final.
Yeah, we're looking at a finish somewhere around 2 minutes and 15 seconds for first place.
The open with the butterfly and with the lead. Heading toward the completion of the first 50 is Elise Alexander of Baruch College. She is first to the touch pad.
She's there, 28-21, the first to touch pad.
She was first there by just over half a second. Backstroke now. The lead growing for Alexander, heading toward the wall. Her lead now up to about a body length and a half, maybe 2 body lengths. And she's showing no signs of slowing down. Very long underwater for Alexander off of that touch pad. Far further than just about any of her competitors, and I think that was a huge advantage for her there. See if she can replicate that off the wall.
Absolutely, sub 34 there on her split time.
Look how far she traveled under the water, Nick.
That's the key to get a big lead in a lot of these races.
I think her competitors fared a lot better off the wall, but off the touch pad, she had a distinct advantage underwater. Let's see here entering the final 50. Didn't travel as far there entering the freestyle, just wanted to get to work. But on that breaststroke, she traveled a very long way off the touch pad.
Yeah, looks like she's going to swim away easily with this victory.
It's a race for second, Nick. Out of lanes 3 and 5. Alexander has run away with this one.
Well, she's about to win this at her time, 2:14.03. So like I said, around 2:15 was going to be the winner.
Almost a 4-second improvement over her seed time. Argeluz Garzon second. McHugh third. Shustak fourth. In lane 7, Joyce Wong 5th. Eade 6th. Kern 7th. And Schaefer-Kay 8th. So as I mentioned, for the first heat in the men's 200-yard IM, the pool will not be very crowded, just 3 swimmers.
Yes, so you're guaranteed a top 3 finish in this.
Sounds good on paper, doesn't it?
Yeah, Ivan Kappen, 2016 record holder, 148.28. We do not expect him to be challenged in this one. And if we're looking at the D3 cut times, we are looking at the following numbers, which would be 144.94 for the A cut, B cut 150.25, invited time 149.24. Lane 1 from Brooklyn College, Alvaro Calabozo. I'm sure Joe Calabrese's favorite swimmer here. In lane 4,
can I call him a Calabozo?
I think you should, especially if Alvaro's in the water. Lane 4 from Baruch College, Samuel Liao. In lane 5 from the SUNY Maritime College Privateers, Parker Endress.
So once again, just 3 swimmers in the pool here, but it will not be for an extended period of time. And I think when the pool is so empty and sometimes the building's a bit more quiet, all eyes on you, that has to weigh on you just a bit in the pool. Just a bit.
It definitely makes things awkward, that's for sure. Because we know everybody's just watching you swim. It's focused on you.
We have seen heats with as few as 2 swimmers.
Yes.
Big lead here for Samuel Lau.
33-13 split for Lau. He's the favorite. He had the best seed time, 2:16.62. Endress behind him, 2:18.45.
Lau heads to the wall, maintaining his lead, but not quite as large as it was. Closing the gap a bit, Parker Endress. And I think he's going to make this interesting, Nick.
It's going to be close. Down the stretch.
Final 50. Lau's lead now a body length, and I think Lau in the freestyle is going to pull away with this one. Lead a body length heading into the final turn, and that will not change as Samuel Lau will take first in a very sparsely occupied C final in the men's 200-yard IM. Official time for Lau, 2:15.95. That is about 0.7 of a second ahead of his seed time.
Yeah, I'll say from my research, looks like Alvaro Calabozo is also a diver, so pretty incredible to be able to swim and dive.
You do not see that often at all, at least not where I work. Do not see many swimmers
And
double as divers.
He was the CUNY 1 meter diving champion.
It's a good note you have there. Finalists, men's 200 IM making their way poolside. And with each A final, I'm very interested to hear the music selection.
Not what I had went with. Joe, I want to get your thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime show. Maybe we'll get those off air.
Funny thing about that. I actually did not watch the game at all.
Really?
I did not watch the game until it was decided.
Interesting.
So-
Where you were out? You were somewhere?
I am a dealer in licensed professional sports memorabilia. And obviously I live in New Jersey. I moved from Staten Island recently. Hard to believe it's been almost 9 months. But a lot of Eagles inventory came in before the Super Bowl, and I couldn't bear the thought of them losing the game, so I didn't watch it.
Interesting.
I grew up a Jets fan, defected to the Raiders. I might have to come back home, Nick. Eagles.
I think you stick with the Raiders.
They're not very good.
You might get your former Jets quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Back to the action here in the pool. Lane 1 from Mount St. Mary College, Michael D'Ambrosio. In lane 2 from Baruch College, Daniel Basilkoff. In lane 3 from Baruch College, you heard him last year. He was one of the stars of the tournament, Ramil Fengersh. In lane 4 from Robert Tussle University, Antoine Pierre Tercy. Might be Antoni. I think it's Antoine, though. And Anthony. I'll wait for the PA to confirm, but I think it's Anthony. Theo Dietrich from Gordon College in lane 5. Lane 6 from Lehman College, Ronald Sanchez. Lane 7, Robert Wesley University, Tommy Booth. And they announced him as Atuni Piersai from lane 4. Lane 8 from Baruch College, Eric Goldstein. As the swimmers are still being introduced here. Pieterse in lane 4, 155.99. The favorite, Fengersh, 157.76 in lane 3. Dietrich, 157.41 in lane 5.
So those couple of names to watch in terms of seed times. ahead of this A final.
Tommy Booth.
After this, things really pick up in terms of pace with the 50-yard freestyle.
The 400-yard IM and 6th and the 200 fly.
For both
From Baruch.
the men and the women, we will have 3 heats in the 50 free. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Then you can break for 20 minutes and rejoin us for the 400-yard medley relay, and that will wrap up our first night here at the Mets. And Nick, our itinerary said we'd wrap up at around 7:41. We appear right on schedule.
Well, whoever sets the itinerary certainly knew what they were doing, and they're off.
And we are underway in the A final, men's 200-yard individual medley.
Yeah,
open with the
expect this
butterfly.
race to wrap up around 1 minute and 53 seconds.
With the lead in lane 4, Anthony Pieterse. That's how I'd pronounce it anyway. Pieterse, you think?
I
I'm
think
not really sure.
Pieterse.
I've never seen that last name before. I would say Pieterse.
That's how I would say
Pieterse.
too.
Yeah. Live chat to the rescue, perhaps. But Anthony representing Roberts Wesley and doing a good job thus far as he heads toward the touchpad with a lead of about half a body length.
Yeah, he got there 51.40 overall, but 28.60 is touchpad time.
All swimmers now have begun the breaststroke with the exception of lane 8, but Eric Goldstein joins them here. Off the latest turn and a very, very long underwater. Anthony Pieterse heads for the touchpad with a lead of about a body length. Final 50 coming up. It is a 2-swimmer race for first. However, the race for third, very tight in lanes 2 and 3. Pieterse running away with this one now. His lead only growing, and he heads for the touchpad with a sizable lead.
Going to have a strong finish for him.
It will be first place points for Roberts Wesleyan University as Pieterse takes first with a time of 26:48 in that final 50 and an overall time of 1:50.89.
Well, now we get ready for the 50-yard freestyle, Joe. So because we're not going to have a lot of time, I'm just going to run through with what we have for the schools and last names. Because by the time I got there, everything with it on the board, the race will be over. So 50-yard freestyle here, women's up first. Lane 1 for heat 1. For Roberts Wesleyan University, Vanderhoof. Lane 2 from Gordon College, Boschetto. Lane 3 from Mount St. Mary College, Servin. Lane 4 from SUNY Maritime College, Elefante. Lane 5 from John Jay College, Torres. Lane 6 from Gordon College, Ulay. Lane 7 from Baruch College, Dobrinsky. Lane 8 from Gordon College, it is Schisler. And if we have this moment here, which we do, we'll look at the 50-yard freestyle cut time, the D2 level, 22:65 for A cut, B cut 23:57, the invite time 23:53, and the swimmers are getting on their mark here.
All right, we got all of that in ahead of the start of our C final. Nicely done, Nick. Women's 50-yard freestyle. Our first heat underway. Well, these can't help but be close, Nick, and that's why as commentators,
everything's going to be under 30 seconds.
As commentators, that's why we enjoy it so much. Off the wall, it is anybody's race. Right now, it looks like it may be a slight lead in lane 7 for Tercia Dobrzinski, but in lanes 4 and 5 now, Elefante and Torres headed for the touchpad, and it is Elefante taking 1, Torres 2, and Dobrzinski 3 in the C final of the women's 50 free.
Tight finish there. We move on now to the next heat. So I'll turn the page here. Lane 1, Lane 1 from Hunter College. It is Chang. Lane 2 from Winter College, it is Tidorenko. In lane 3 from Sarah Lawrence College, it is Lore. In lane 4 from SUNY Maritime College, Baratu. In lane 5 from John Jay College, Hapsis. Lane 6 from Brooklyn College, Jajansky. In lane 7 from Sarah Lawrence College, Guarda Vasquez. And in lane 8 from Winter College, Quiller.
The final women's 50 free as the swimmers take to the starting blocks. And we're off. And Nick, they took some pointers from you. Last names only. I think you got the first names in.
I didn't get the first
You did
names
not.
in because I don't have the first names.
Good
but
point.
I could have if I had them.
That's right. I don't doubt you. A lead in lane 3 here for Josie Lauer. And that lead is growing as she heads for the touchpad. And it looks like she's going to take this one easily. It is Lauer in lane 3, followed by Barito and Hapsis in lanes 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3 for that trio in the women's 50-yard freestyle B final.
Great swim there, and now I will give you the first names because they will be introduced. So we'll wait for them to be introduced on the podium before I give those to you. But looking ahead here is the prelim times. In lane 4 is going to be Maya Webb. 24:03 was the best time. Roberts Wesleyan University. Mount St. Mary Colleges, I'm going to guess Kayla, we have our first name. Nicholas, the best last name in the meet, 24:99 prelim time. And Miranda Perez from John Jay College, lane 3, 25:62 prelim time. So I'll get you everybody's full names here as they're being introduced. I could guess, but I'll make sure it's official, but not too many cutoffs here in this particular heat on our meet sheet.
Individual introductions for all 8 swimmers ahead of this A final. And the women's 50-yard freestyle. This the final individual event on night 1 of our coverage here at the Mets. Of course, the men's 50 free coming up next, but the 50-yard freestyle, the last of the individual events tonight. And after the men's 3 heats, we have a break ahead of the 400 medley relay. For those tuning in just now, once again, lanes 1 through 8 from the top of your screen down to the bottom.
Swimming in the A final of the women's 50-yard freestyle.
Here come those names on the board, Nick.
Isabella Gaduas.
So from lane 1 from Gordon College, Isabella Gaduas. In lane 2 from Gordon College, Emin Lipiet. In lane 3 from John Jay College, Miranda Perez. In lane 4 from Roberts Wesleyan University, Maya Webb. In lane 5 from Mount St. Mary College, Kayla Nicholas. In lane 6 from Baruch College, Ashley Leal. In lane 7 from Sarah Lawrence College, Julia Maker. And in lane 8 from Sarah Lawrence College, Amelia Bird. So there are your 8 swimmers for this A heat. Anticipating the winner to be around 22, 23 seconds. So this is going to be a blink and you'll miss it race.
As is always the case with the 50 free. Introductions continue with Ashley Leal in lane 6. We are nearing the start of this heat. Now, I don't recall last year if we mic'd up the PA announcer. Do you remember if we mic'd up the PA announcer for the senior walk?
We did.
We did. I think what we'll have to do this year is go with the in-arena sound. We'll place our microphones on the ledge in front of us and pick up the noise from in the arena. Having 2 wirelessly transmitting microphones last year was a little shaky. 1 for the senior walk, 1 for the diving. We can also give a mic to the PA announcer and then move it over to diving. So that's an option as well. We will see what Sunday brings us. As we're underway in the A final, women's 50-yard freestyle. Off the starting blocks with a narrow lead, swimming out of lane 4 is Maya Webb. Off the turn, Webb's lead only grows, and a strong turn it was for the Roberts Wesleyan University swimmer. She appears poised to take first, and she will. Close behind in second is Kayla Nicholas. In third, Miranda Perez. In fourth, Ashley Leal. In fifth, Julia Maker. In sixth, Isabella Gaduis. In seventh, Emily Berg. And in eighth, Emma Lipia.
So, quick swim there. Maya Webb, victorious. A good night one for Roberts Wesleyan University as far as individual events for the ladies.
Men's 50-yard freestyle C final coming up, and once again we will have 3 fields of 8 competing in each of our final heats.
All right, so I'm going to give you those competitors now. The all-time greatest Met swimmer Ben Michelson, the record holder, 1940, 2003. So men's 50-yard freestyle, heat 1. Again, like I did the women's, school and last name. Brooklyn College's Seto Mishkawani is in lane 1. Brooklyn College's Badre Hume in lane 2. SUNY Maritime College has lanes 3, 4, and 5. Colombo in lane 3. McManus in lane 4. Anastiados in lane 5. Brooklyn College's Kryluck in lane 6. SUNY Maritime College's Aiden Hope in lane 7. And in lane 8, it is Brooklyn College's Aaron Bricona. Not the easiest names in this bunch, Joe.
No, certainly not. We await the start of our C final. The swimmers have taken to the starting blocks, but right now no movement. There was a conversation going on at or around the scorer's table, and the swimmers will step down. No word on what the delay is. Right now, one of the officials is at the scorer's table speaking to the PA
All I could think
announcer.
is that they just weren't ready. I don't know, with the clocks or something, or the pads, I'm not sure. Everyone looks like they're going to swim, so. McManus, 24:89, and that was the best prelim time.
All right, we are underway in the C final. Men's 50 free. Following the turn in lane 4, small lead for McManus, but that lead is growing. It is anybody's race in terms of second place. McManus will take 1, and right behind him is Alex, and I'm going to take a crack at it, Nick. Anastasiadis. I think I got it. He takes second. Nikolai, I would say Kryliuk. That's what I would go with. But that's a tough one.
Well, I think you nailed your Greek. I nailed your Eastern European.
I don't have any Greek in me. I do have Polish, Russian, and German, as well as Irish and Italian on the mother's side.
All right, so as we get ready for heat 2 here, Gordon College's Zach, I'm going to guess, Barneson, lane 1. Victor Pineda from SUNY Maritime in lane 2. Jackson Lerner from SUNY Maritime, lane 3. Avery Fedor, Robert Wesley in lane 4. Adam Byrne, lane 5 from Baruch. His Baruch teammates in lane 6 and 7. In lane 6, Titarenko, Hamakoyotis in lane 7, and Lee from Brooklyn College, lane 8.
You just got it in ahead of the final 25. Anybody's race headed toward the touchpad. It looks like Titarenko in lane 6 had a slight edge, but he lost it. And Avery Fedor takes first, Adam Burns second, Jackson Lerner third, Titarenko fourth, then 5 through 8. Berenson, Pineda, Lee, and Hamakiotis.
All right, so there we go. And now we will wait here before we get the final heat because they'll introduce all the swimmers.
Finalist in the men's 50-yard freestyle.
A finalist, 50 free, heading poolside in just a few moments. Taking a look very quickly at how close we should expect this heat to be. Obviously, they're all close. But every once in a while, you get that A finalist who is far and away at the top of the field. And did I say A finalist? I did. Good. Making sure. Taking a look at the seed times, Nick, I think we can expect it to be close.
Yeah, this should definitely be a close one, as 21:27 was the best seed time from El Coway. Renaud, 21:88, right behind him. So those are the top two right there that we could keep an eye on.
Seed times here, all within about a second and a half.
Swimming in the A final of the men's 50-yard freestyle. In lane 1, here's a returning Met Conference finalist.
All right, we have first and last names up on the board, Nick. For the ones that are cut off, I'm going to help you. You can skip over that for now. I'll get it for you. Take it away.
All right, so, Joe, lane 1 from Lehman College, Roger Sanchez. Lane 2 from Roberts Wesleyan University. His name is Ethan Springle. In lane 3, we know his family's watching, from Baruch College, his first appearance in the Mets, Lucas Vasquez. In lane 4 from Baruch College as well, Yusuf Kawe. In lane 5 from Gordon College, James Brunau. In lane 6 from Gordon College as well, Danny Moda. In lane 7, Andan Fedor. And in lane 8, Major Adair from Gordon College. So in this final here, we have 2 people from Baruch, 2 swimmers from Gordon College, 3 swimmers from Gordon College.
In lane 5, he holds the school record in the 50
Introductions
freestyle
continue, and
Gordon College.
try and listen in every once in a while and get some of the information that is passed along on those bio forms.
Now we do know that Lucas's family is going to be watching lane 3 very closely. They are watching, participating in the live chat, and we appreciate that they're huge fans of us on the stream. We try our very best here.
I think they're bigger fans of Lucas, but we'll take it. We will take it. Thank you.
They knew
to,
Lucas was swimming in this event. They're ready for it.
Thank you to everyone who is giving us their viewership, even if just for one heat this weekend. It definitely helps us here at the PDF Sports Network and helps to support the conference and the student athletes as well.
So, Joe, this is going to be around a 20 and a half second race. 21 seconds max. Here we go.
Can anyone push for the 20-second mark? I think sub 21, definitely doable. How close can we get to 20? I don't think we're going sub 20.
I don't think so. I think it'll be about like 0.20 of a second off.
Can they get sub 21? That's the big question here. Also, who's going to take first place? Off the turn, Yusuf El-Kouli out of lane 4 with the lead. He's being pushed by James Branagh. Close race in 4 and 5, and it is El-Kouli by about 0.5 of a second. He takes first, Branagh second, Vasquez third, Springle fourth, Fedor fifth, Mota sixth, Sanchez seventh, and Adair eighth.
El-Kouli there, 21:08. What a race for him. And that's going to conclude our individual race portion of the night. And we'll take a break soon and come back for what should be a very fun 400-yard medley relay. We'll have 2 heats, one for the women and one for the men.
We are always up for some relays, and we have the 400-yard medley relay coming up next. So what Nick and I are going to do is turn off our microphones and step aside for about 20 minutes. And during that break, they will get prepared down on pool level for the 400-yard medley relay. That is our final event of the night for both the men and the women, just one heat. So be sure to stay tuned here for the conclusion of our night 1 coverage of the 2025 Mets Swimming and Diving Conference Championship right here on the PDF Sports Network. 20-minute break and 400-yard medley relay coming up next. And we are back here on the PDF Sports Network from the sunny Werblin Rec Center. And Nick, it's that time again.
Yes, it is relay time!
Just an A final in our women's 400-yard medley relay, the 400 medley relay, our final event of the night. And as the swimmers make their way to the starting blocks, Nick, give us the lane assignments.
All right, Joe. Let's get ready to relay. In lane 1 for the ladies, it is Hunter College coming into the heat with a 5:05.10 seed time. In lane 2 from Mount St. Mary College with a seed time of 4:33.05. It is Mount St. Mary College. And in lane 3, coming over to seed time of 4:30.79, Sarah Lawrence College. In lane 4, from Baruch College with a seed time of 4:10.83. In lane 5, with a seed time of 4:26.80, Robert Russell University. In lane 6, with a seed time of 4:31.95, it is Gordon College. In lane 7, with the seed time of 4:41.27, it is John Jay College. And in lane 8, it is Brooklyn College with a seed time of 5:13.05. The Metro Tramps record set in 2015 by Long Island University with a time of 3:43.04. That is going to be safe by a wide margin in this race.
All right. Right now the board not fully populated. They're getting there.
So the medley relay cut time for D3 level is B cut 3:50.46, and the invited time is 3:49.31.
The official sounds his whistle as the swimmers make their way to the entry area in the pool.
So let's get ready to relay here. We're expecting Baruch to win here. I mean, their seed time
Heavy favorite.
was 16 seconds faster than Roberts Wesleyan. So look for a 4-minute and 10-second race here from them.
We open with the backstroke. Bearcats very quickly out to a sizable lead of more than a body length. 16-second difference in a 400-yard event is still very significant. And the Bearcats building that lead early here in this 400 medley relay. So lane 7, which according to our meet sheet was scheduled to be occupied by John Jay, has been vacated. So my guess is that is the reason why there was a bit of a slowdown in populating the board. They were probably making that change.
Yeah, they must have. So I don't know, swimmers. I don't know what could have happened.
If I had to guess, and I have no inside information, but typically you put in the 20-minute break so that any swimmer who's competed earlier in the night gets a break.
Right.
And my guess is one of their swimmers competed earlier and just didn't feel ready in time for this event, but that's pure speculation on my part.
Yeah.
Bearcats doing what the seed times had indicated they would.
Yeah, they have about
large lead.
3/4 of the pool lead.
It's a big lead, a very big lead for this early. Second leg of this relay breaststroke, and the Bearcats continue to build their advantage. However, in lane 6, Gordon may have closed the gap ever so slightly. Nothing significant enough to threaten that Baruch lead. Roberts Wesleyan in lane 5 and 3rd right now.
Well, it looks like 2 minutes in, Baruch has wrapped this race up.
It's looking pretty good. I wouldn't go that far yet, but they're looking pretty good.
Mount St. Mary's College and Gordon College going for the 2 right now.
The seed times are always a pretty good indication of what it would take to wrap up a race early. And a lead like this, when your seed time has you in front by 16 seconds, is usually a pretty safe bet. 3rd leg of the medley relay, the butterfly. And the lead remains constant for Baruch, about half the length of the pool. Gordon right now with a distinct lead in the race for 2nd place. Roberts Wesleyan 3rd. Those 2 were separated by about 5 seconds during the prelims. Roberts edging out Gordon by that 5 seconds. So interesting to see. The Scots right now with a fairly significant lead over the Redhawks.
Yeah, and that's big because the Redhawks obviously try to contend here with Baruch for the win.
When you're watching at home, very often it's easy to get caught up in which team finishes in first, and a bit easier to forget that whatever team finishes in second earns those 2nd place points as well. It's not a matter of who wins technically, it's a matter of who scores the most points. And over the course of a meet, 2nd versus 3rd place adds up, and
right,
those races matter.
Points is the name of the game.
Baruch heading for the touchpad here. And their final time, 4:14.64. So they actually finished a bit behind their seed time, which
such a lead though
is to be expected in the relays. So Nick, I did not follow the laps correctly. Mount St. Mary has taken 2nd. So at some point with the teams lapping one another, I lost track of the Knights. They take 2nd place out of lane 2. Now it looks like potentially a touch didn't register because Gordon was done swimming and their time is still running. So Nick, I think we had a touch missed or a touchpad malfunction.
Wait to hear the official.
Yeah, these rankings
here
are not official. I was going to say, I don't think I missed it that badly. Well, now Gordon registers that last touch, but obviously it came quite some time ago. So they'll have to work on that and figure out exactly what the proper order of finishing was in this A final. The officials right now are at the scoring table, and they'll get that sorted out. There's nothing more frustrating when scoring a swim meet than a malfunctioning touchpad, I must say.
It's difficult to figure out then what's going on, but just had Brooklyn College finish now, but they scratched them, so we'll have to listen here what the official status was.
We should know shortly. But right now we are just as much in limbo as the swimmers are and as all of our viewers at home. So what you see on the board right now, obviously, is what is on the board in the arena. As you said, they scratched Brooklyn after the race had ended, but that could just be a product of the changes they're making elsewhere. I'm not really sure. But they're working on that, and all we can do is they take care of the situation right now, is sit and wait. With the men's final in the 400 medley relay coming up next, this may send us to a break. You can go back and make scoring changes in Meet Manager, which is what they might have to do here. I am no pro with the system, but I do have.
Imagine they're going to call you down.
They are not going to do that. I'll make a phone call. Stephanie, get down here. Hop in the car. Let's go. Stephanie, our Meet Manager whiz over where I work. Though she needs some help from time to time, too. Honestly, Nick, I can't stand the program. I want nothing to do with it. And the reason why isn't because it's a bad program. It's because it relies on the technology in the pool to function correctly. The touchpads have to function.
Right.
The swimmers have to touch correctly and not miss any touches. Once the ability to score comes out of my hands in some way, I'm lost. And I can't deal with technology failing me, and far too often that occurs.
Well, it looks like they're going to give the PA some sort of piece of paper right now, so we'll see the announcement. Here we go.
Attention, please. And the women's 400-yard medley relay, lanes 3 and 6 have been disqualified.
Wow.
So 2 lanes disqualified, those being 3 and 6, Sarah Lawrence and Gordon College. Well, that changes things quite a bit.
Yeah, so
Assuming that the touch was incorrect.
I guess.
It may not it doesn't change anything.
Well,
if they
Baruch's
actually
still on.
finish.
Mount St. Mary College is 2.
Well,
Roberts Wesleyan's 3.
I think originally Gordon was 3.
Right.
But they missed the touch and now have been disqualified. So if Gordon was correctly 3, then that would have changed things. If not, then nothing changes. 5 and 6 disqualified. 1, 2, 3, 4 remains the same.
All right, so we're getting ready now for our last race of the night. Hard to believe. And it's the 400 medley relay. Nobody in lanes 1 or 8 for this one. Lane 2, 4:09:68 seed time, Mount St. Mary College. Lane 3, 3:50:22 seed time, Gordon College. Lane 4, 3:33 seed time, Baruch College. Lane 5, 3:36 seed time, Roberts Wesleyan College. Lane 6, 4:08:38 seed time, Brooklyn College. Lane 7 is SUNY Maritime College, 4:15:33 seed time. Now for the D3. The D3 cut time. We have 3:18:26 for the B cut, 3:16:85 for the invited time. But for Roberts Wesleyan, we'll look at the D2 cut time, and doesn't look like we have that, so that's not there. But I had the D3 one for you, so you get the general idea.
With those cut times, I know one of them had an official PDF document, the other did not.
All right, so it looks like here the men's is 3:13:14 for D2, so that applies to Roberts Wesleyan. So expecting a good race here. Close one between Baruch and Roberts Wesleyan, which will go a long way overall for this meet.
I think the battle for first and second across many events that will take place between those two teams is something that we need to keep our eye on all weekend. Obviously, 2 of the favorites in terms of performance last year entering the weekend. And early in this men's 400-yard medley relay, it is Baruch in lane 6 right now, to the wall simultaneously. Or excuse me, Brooklyn in lane 6 to the wall simultaneously with Baruch in lane 4. Right in the middle of them, Roberts Wesleyan. As the first swimmer for each of those 3 squads reaches the touchpad. No distinct advantage, perhaps a slight edge in lane 3 for Gordon. So I misspoke. It was Roberts in lane 5, close with Gordon, and then Baruch in the middle. It was not Brooklyn in lane 6. So I had my sight shifted down an extra lane. Through the first 50, 3, 4, and 5 were close. But through the first 100, it is a lead for Gordon swimming out of lane 3. Baruch not far behind, followed by Roberts Wesleyan.
Baruch 27.72 on the touch. Gordon 27.22. Roberts Wesleyan 29.94.
It is neck and neck in lanes 3 and 4 right now between Gordon and Baruch. Second leg of this medley relay, the breaststroke, and neither of those two squads gaining any edge.
Gordon was 17 seconds slower than Baruch in the prelims.
Well, that last split distinctly favored Baruch by about 1 second, and every second is huge. And now Baruch beginning to build a lead off of that latest turn. Gordon still within a body length. Roberts Wesleyan a distant third right now. Baruch slowly growing that lead. Third leg coming up. Butterfly stroke here. Baruch with a lead of about a body length. That lead is growing, headed toward the wall. Baruch now with a massive lead developing. And they are beginning to run away with this one as the Red Hawks now have closed the gap on Gordon.
Yeah, Baruch true to form here, opening things up, and the Red Hawks true to form in second place.
Well, Baruch beginning to run away with this one. A distant lead, but Roberts Wesleyan closing in. Do not sleep on the Red Hawks. And the Baruch lead now is down to less than a body length. We may have an exciting finish to conclude night 1 here at the Mets.
What a split there by the Red Hawks swimmer, 25-61.
They are 7/100ths of a second apart heading into the final 100. Baruch over Roberts Wesleyan right now. But it was actually the Red Hawks that finished the first 300 ahead of the Bearcats. Baruch with a lead of about half a body length. Final 50 coming up here.
Down for an exciting finish, 22.57 split for Baruch. Roberts Wesleyan, 20.55. They're falling behind a little.
Baruch with a lead of about a body length heading into the final turn. The Bearcats seed time ahead of the Red Hawks by about 3 seconds. That gap's going to close a bit here, but not by enough for Roberts Wesleyan to overtake Baruch. The Bearcats take first with a time of 3:31.21. The Red Hawks take second with a time of 3:32.71. Exciting finish to night 1 here at the Mets. Gordon was in the mix for much of this relay. They take third, and they do so by a fairly significant margin. About 5 seconds according to the board. Maybe a bit more than that, in fact. Quite more, about 20 seconds. In lane 6, Brooklyn's timer had stopped, so I thought they had finished, but they have not. They take 6th. There you have it, the standings for our final relay of the night. Baruch 1, Roberts 2, Gordon 3, Mount St. Mary 4, SUNY Maritime 5, and Brooklyn 6.
Everybody improved on their seed times there. Great night of swimming for Baruch and Roberts Wesleyan.
So we'll stay with you for a minute or two longer. Every once in a while, they'll tack on an additional heat at the end of a night of coverage, but I do not think that will be the case this evening, which brings our coverage of night 1 here at the Metropolitan Conference Swimming and Diving Championship to a close. Before we sign off, we'll look ahead to tomorrow. Prelims begin at 10 a.m. Our events for tomorrow are the 200 medley relay, women's 3-meter diving, men's 1-meter diving, the 400 IM, 100 butterfly, 200 freestyle, 100 breaststroke, 100 backstroke, and finally the 800-yard freestyle relay. We will be back here tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. with prelims coverage, and then I will rejoin you alongside Joe Calabrese for coverage of our Saturday evening finals at 5:30 p.m. But until then, my name is Joe Foreman. My broadcast partner tonight has been Nick Durst, and this has been PDF Sports Network coverage of the 2025 Mets Championship. Be sure to join us back here for prelims coverage tomorrow at 10 a.m. and finals coverage tomorrow at 5:30.